everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lindsay, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made over my bath and vanity cabinets. My husband and I moved from the Midwest to the desert last year and bought our very first home. The house was built in the 90s and it still had the original honey-colored oak cabinets throughout. So the first project we completed after closing on the house last year was painting the kitchen cabinets. It was a pretty big project, and it was one that neither of us had really taken on before, but we were actually really happy with the way things turned out. So I decided to use a very similar process when painting the bathroom cabinets, and this time I wanted to share that process with you from start to finish. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around and keep watching. So before we get into it, here is what the vanity looked like before. For this project, I'm using the Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint from Dixie Belle in the color Hampton Olive. This is the newest paint the company offers, and it became available to purchase on their website a few weeks ago. If you're familiar with the company, you know that they also make a chalk mineral paint. I've purchased a few different colors from them and have used them on various pieces around my home. The paint has great coverage and I've found it to be super easy to work with. I was really excited to try this new product from them, and this color is gorgeous. This is Dixie Belle's version of TSP Cleaner. This is definitely an essential step in the process and should not be forgotten about. I have found the easiest way to mix this is in a spray bottle. It's best to wear gloves when you're doing this, so I decided to get a pair of reusable gloves exclusively for using this product. You can pick up a pair from Walmart for around $2. I mixed about 2 teaspoons of white lightning with bottled water close to the top of the spray bottle. This truly is an important step in the process of painting, especially in a bathroom because of the use of hairsprays and other things that could potentially affect the integrity of the cabinets. So we want to make sure that we have as clean of a working surface as possible. Be sure to also clean the side of the cabinet that is laminate. For the purpose of this video, I'm only showing you what I've done on the front of the vanity. Because of the ridges and grooves in the cabinet doors, I wanted to make sure I got out as much of the gunk as possible. So here I'm using a plastic spatula. That way the paint would have an even and smooth finish once it's applied. So as it's important to clean your cabinets thoroughly, it's just as important to make sure you rinse them off with water after you're finished with your cleaning product. So here I'm using a different spray bottle that has just purified water in it, and I use a dry clean towel to make sure I remove all of that cleaning product from the cabinets. And once again, make sure that you remove the cleaning product from all surfaces, including the sides and the kick plate. So while I was waiting for the vanity to completely dry, I went ahead and taped off around the wall and the floor. The instructions for the Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint say to do a light scuff sanding before painting. I chose to use a piece of 180 grit to lightly scuff the surface to allow the paint to adhere better. I did not use the sandpaper on the laminate surfaces of the vanity, which include the side of it and the bottom portion kick plate. Remember, you want to just gently scuff sand it. After I finished sanding, I used a piece of tack cloth to help remove any of the dust that was created while sanding. Found that it's really easy for dust particles to get stuck and trapped around the grooves and ridges of the doors, so I decided to use my vacuum to make sure there was nothing left. I even went as far as to wipe it down with a clean, dry towel. Since we're going with the theme of Dixie Belle in the video, I decided I would stick with it and use one of their primers, Slick Stick. This is a great product from them that you can use on things that are glass, metal, or in this case the laminate, to allow the paint to adhere better. While the silk does claim to have a primer built in, the side of the container does say that factory finishes and laminates may require the use of Slick Stick. So to make this process as seamless as possible, I figured I would go ahead and apply the Slick Stick to the laminate surfaces. This next step is completely optional, but I have found that it works best for me with my past experience of painting cabinets. If you have multiple doors or drawers, you might want to label them so when you put them back on, you don't get them mixed up. Make sure you give your paint a good stir before applying it in case it has settled. The instructions say to use a synthetic brush. and you want to make sure that it's completely dry. If you're used to using Dixie Belle's chalk mineral paint, you know a little goes a long way, especially with the use of water. The silk paint is completely different though, and you should not combine water with this product. You'll want to make sure you have plenty of product on your brush when applying it. Because it's an all-in-one paint, you'll be using a little more product than you're probably used to. Make sure you take a close look at all of the detailed parts in the cabinet doors as to make sure that you don't have any paint drips or runs. You also want to keep in mind that you don't want to go back and rework an area that's been drying for more than a minute or so, because it will pull the paint. If you notice there's a part that needs to be touched up, you can take care of that when you go to apply the second coat. Using good lighting can also make it easier to notice any runs or drips in your paint. So after painting the cabinet doors, I went ahead and started painting the rest of the vanity. You might find that it's easier to completely remove your drawers before you start painting around them, but this was the way I found easiest for myself. You also want to keep a towel close by just in case your brush gets a little crazy and you need to wipe off any paint from the countertop like I did. While I was applying the second coat to the vanity, I went ahead and took out the sliding drawers to make sure that I got really well around the frame. I ended up doing a total of 2 full coats on the vanity and the cabinet doors, and I actually went back with the third coat just to touch up a few areas. I did not feel the need to sand between the coats of paint. I ended up waiting about 24 hours in between the first and second coats, but ideally you don't have to wait that long. The instructions do say that cooler temperatures or higher humidity can prolong the drying time, so depending what kind of piece you're applying this to, make sure you give yourself time. I won't be putting any additional top coats on the paint as of now since it does have that built-in top coat. I plan on making another video in the next few months with an update of how the paint has held up. If I feel that it starts to chip away, I'll touch it up and apply another top coat. I will be adding some cabinet hardware, which should also help make the paint last. According to Dixie Belle, the paint has a 21 to 30 day cure time, and it is water, mildew, and grease resistant. So this is how it looked after the paint completely dried with 2 coats all over and a coat where I touched up a few spots. For a smooth appearance, I would recommend doing at least 3 to 4 coats all over, but I like the rustic look of the wood grain showing through for this project. And here's the final look. I was torn between a few different options for the hardware, but this is the style I decided to go with. I'm really pleased with the turnout of the vanity, and I love the way the color looks with the flooring and the countertop. I would definitely recommend this product, and I will be using it again on other pieces. We have several different projects we'll be working on around the house, so I can't wait to share those projects with you. I'll be adding some more content to my channel in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. Thanks again for watching today's video, and take care.